Life in Kuje village moved like a slow river. Boys grew up to become farmers, fishermen or carpenters, just like their fathers. Girls, after secondary school, married young and started families, cooking and caring for their children. The people of Kuje had never heard of a university. It was like a dream beyond their imagination. For them, education ended after secondary school, and that was enough. Parents were content as long as their children could read and write. They never asked for more because they never knew more. Life in the village was steady, like the sun rising and setting every day. This was how it had always been, how it was for years, but change was coming, something that would shake the quiet life of Kuje. A storm was brewing on the horizon, though the village did not yet know it. One bright, sunny day, Kuje village buzzed with excitement. From far away, a group of city students arrived on an excursion. They came with big smiles, fancy clothes, and shiny shoes. The villagers had never seen anything like it. The students walked with confidence, books in hand, talking about life in the city. Their words sounded like music to the villagers' ears. "Look at how they walk," some villagers whispered. "Listen to how they talk," the women murmured. The students showed them strange and fascinating things. They spoke about the great machines they used in the city, machines that could build houses and make farming easier. They demonstrated how they studied using those machines, and the villagers watched in awe. The village chief, standing tall with his walking stick, couldn't believe his eyes. He looked at the students and thought to himself, "This is how our children should be." And he was not alone. The entire village was thinking the same thing. For the first time ever, the idea of sending one of their own children to the city for university crossed their minds. The city students stayed only a short while, but they left something behind: hope. The villagers now dreamed of a future where their children would go beyond the village, beyond secondary school, and reach for something greater. They wanted their children to wear fine clothes, walk tall, and become wise, just like those city students. Under the shade of the great Iroko tree, the villagers gathered to discuss their newfound dream. The men stroked their chins, the women whispered among themselves, and the children sat close, listening with wide eyes. Finally, they all agreed. One child must go to the city and learn the ways of the world. But who would it be? They looked around, thinking hard. Then someone spoke a name: Folake. Everyone nodded in agreement. Folake was no ordinary girl. She was beautiful, like the sun shining after rain, bright and pure. She was clever, with sharp eyes that noticed everything. She was kind, always helping her mother, always laughing, always bringing joy to the elders. "Yes, Folake," they said, their voices growing stronger. "She will be the one to make Kuje proud." And so, the villagers gathered their gifts for Folake's journey. The women packed food: dried yams, ground pepper, a little palm oil. The men pooled together every coin they could spare. Like a river flowing with love, they showered her with blessings. The elder women placed their hands on her head, whispering words of strength and protection, filling her heart with courage. "Go, Folake," they said. "Remember us. Make us proud." With a heart full of hopes and dreams, Folake left Kuje, clutching her small bag tightly, her mind buzzing with thoughts of the city. As she walked away, the villagers stood watching, waving and wiping tears from their eyes, tears of hope, of pride, of a future they had never dared to dream before. Tears filled the villagers' eyes as they sent Folake off, their dreams resting on her small shoulders. When Folake stepped into the city, it was as if she had entered an entirely new world. Buildings rose high like giant trees, cars zoomed past like swift birds, and the streets bustled with people, each following their own path and purpose. Folake's eyes widened with wonder, and her heart pounded with both excitement and fear. School felt strange at first, but Folake was quick to learn. She studied hard, always raising her hand, always listening intently. Soon, her teachers noticed her bright mind, and her classmates saw her kind smile. She was no longer just a girl from a distant village. She became their friend. Among them, she met a girl named Toshi, who soon became her best friend. Toshi knew every corner of the city and guided Folake, showing her the best paths to take, the safest foods to eat, and even how to avoid the dangers lurking in the city's shadows. With Toshi by her side, Folake felt a little less alone. But life in the city was not easy. The money sent by her village was barely enough to buy the essentials. Some nights, Folake went to bed with an empty stomach, her thoughts drifting back to Kuje, to the family and villagers who had given all they could to support her. "I must not fail them," she whispered to herself each night, clutching the small hope they had placed in her heart. So, she carried on, balancing the challenges of city life with the weight of her village's dreams. Her spirit remained strong, like a young tree bending in the wind, but refusing to break. At first, Folake thought her new school was full of kind faces, like her friend Toshi. But soon she learned that not all faces wore smiles. Some students, especially those with polished shoes and expensive clothes, began to notice her differences. Folake wore simple Ankara dresses, each stitch a symbol of her village, her family, her people. To her, they were clothes of pride, but to others they were strange and out of place. As she walked past, whispers followed her like shadows. "Look at her," some murmured. "She's just a village girl." Some girls giggled behind their manicured hands. "Doesn't she know how to dress in the city?" Each word stung like a bee's sting, small but piercing. Folake tried to ignore their laughter, holding her head high. She walked quickly, hoping the day would end soon, praying that tomorrow would be better. But each day the whispers grew louder. The laughter turned into taunts. "Village girl," they called her, as if it were her name. Some boys joined in, sneering as they blocked her path. "Go back to where you came from," they mocked. "You don't belong here." Falake's heart grew heavy, loneliness wrapping around her like a shadow she couldn't escape. But she was no stranger to hardship. She clenched her fists, reminding herself of the village that had placed its faith in her, the people who had sent her with nothing but hope. Still, the burden grew heavier with each passing day. The once bright light in her eyes dimmed, as if the city's shadows were swallowing her whole. As time passed, Folake began to notice something odd about her friend Toshi. Though Toshi's family didn't have much, she always seemed to have money. New shoes, snacks, the latest dresses. Meanwhile, Folake counted every coin, struggling to afford the smallest things. One afternoon, Folake finally voiced her curiosity. "Toshi," she asked softly, "how do you manage to buy all these things? Where do you get the money?" Toshi only laughed, a quick, light sound, brushing off the question with a wave of her hand. Folake, don't worry about it," she said, smiling. "Just a little hustle here and there." But Folake couldn't stop wondering. She watched as Toshi disappeared in the evenings, dressed with extra care, her eyes shining with a secret she refused to share. Each time Folake asked again, Toshi would simply laugh and say, "One day, you'll understand, Folake." And just like that, she would change the subject, leaving Falake's questions unanswered. But the mystery of Toshi's hustle clung to Falake's thoughts like a shadow, making her wonder, what kind of life did the city demand? Days turned into weeks, and Folake asked again, hoping for an answer. But each time, Toshi only shrugged, her smile playful yet guarded. "Just enjoy, Folake," she would say. "Don't worry about how I get my money." But Folake couldn't ignore the uneasy feeling growing inside her. A shadow loomed over Toshi, a hint of something unspoken. It spread like a dark cloud, filling Folake with unease. What was Toshi hiding? And how was she managing to live so comfortably while Folake struggled alone? The question followed Folake like an echo, a half-spoken secret lingering in the silence. Time slipped through her fingers like sand, and soon her small stash of money ran dry. The city's demands were relentless. Hunger gnawed at her stomach, a sharp reminder that the little her village sent was never enough. Her stomach growled like a restless animal, the ache growing louder as her hope began to fade. At night, she sat alone in her small, dimly lit room, a single candle flickering beside her as she wrote trembling words on a page. "Mama, Papa," she wrote, "things are hard here. I don't want to be a burden, but the city is so different." If you liked my video, please like and subscribe to the channel.